Hey, how you doing out there, YouTube? Happy holidays, happy belated Christmas. Been meaning to put out a video for a while now, man. Just got kind of busy, the holiday season. For a new barber like myself, man, it's feast of famine out here. Some days like I'm swamped. Days like today, I'm like, man, where's the love? But it is what it is. It's all part of the game. You know what I mean? I haven't been at it too long, so can't really expect much more than that. Anyway, so I was watching videos a couple of days ago. I saw my boy JP the Barber, man. Shout out to JP. It made mention, guys, a lot of guys making a lot of videos, you know what I mean, but many guys ain't saying anything. So I was going over some of the websites I visit, barberlife.com. You should check it out. The Barber's Booth. One question that I seem to see a lot that a lot of people don't seem to respond to when it gets posted is, what's the difference between a taper and a fade, right? Which I can understand why some people would think that's something everybody knows, but I can also understand why a lot of people don't know this. All right, so what's the difference between a taper and a fade? I'm gonna tell you. All right, so don't get mad if I get all nerdy on you, right? Okay, by definition, a taper is when you go from long to short, or graduate. You graduate from short to long. That's the definition of a taper, period. You make something longer or wider, and you make it smaller. You make it shorter or you make it thinner. That's tapering. So if you remember back in math, when you learned shapes, a square is a rectangle, but a rectangle is not a square. So a taper is not a fade, but a fade is a taper. If that makes any sense. All right, I'm probably about to confuse you. The main difference you want to know is, if somebody comes in your shop and they're asking for a fade, the best way to think of it is the area in which you're cutting. All right, so the head has markers. And you can see my head. I'm putting myself in the mirror, make sure I can see myself pretty well. All right, so you're looking at my head, right? I got pretty big head, so it won't be too hard to notice. All right. So you have what's called the parietal ridge right here. It's usually about right above the ear. So most people's heads go in right above the ear, and then it's coming out. So this wide part of the head right here, this is called your parietal ridge. Not everybody's is as noticeable. Some people have more square heads and stuff like that. The parietal ridge is going to be the widest part of the head. Okay, on this side, it's about right here. All right, so. And then another marker is in the back of the head. It's that knob. If you were to take your finger and roll it up the back of somebody's neck, you'll hit a nod right in the back of the head. That's called the occipital bone. All right, so these are your 3 points that you need to know when you want to talk about fading and tapering. All right, so if somebody's asking for a fade, generally they're asking for a taper that goes low. This will be low, mid, high. So these are 3 points of fading on your head. But generally a fade is going to be above the parietal ridge. So once you get to the parietal ridge, all this down here is probably skin, or whatever your shortest point of the haircut begins at or above the parietal ridge. That's a fade, or the occipital bone. And if you're working in the back of the head, but that's generally the area that you're going to be fading. So a fade, you're going to be tapering from here up, right? But if you're doing a taper, somebody comes in and asks for a temple taper, a neck taper, or a temp fade, whatever, all these different regions, people call different things, different stuff. You're looking at the parietal ridge and down. So you have a low taper, you have a mid taper, and then you have that high taper that's going to be right on the parietal ridge, which is basically going to be borderline low fade. So once again, let's see. Low taper, mid taper, high taper right there on that parietal ridge. Then you're getting right about to the point where you're at a low fade, mid fade, which is also can be marked by the corner of the hairline right there, mid fade, and then high fade. So the definition of a fade is really similar to that of a taper. Really, by definition, a fade is a taper, because that's what you're doing. You're tapering the hair. Okay, but if you're talking haircut, then the difference is going to be where you're doing the fading, blending, whatever you want to call it. Feathering is what they used to call it back in the day. So here you can see, if you can see, I don't know if you can see with this lighting, I have a light taper, and it's about mid. The lightest point is about right here. It's almost high, and then it gets darker as you go up the head. So a light taper, usually I do a skin taper, but you know, trying something different for the New Year's. And I don't really know how to show you the back of my head, but I have about a mid taper on the neck. So I hope I'm able to clarify some things for you. Hopefully I didn't confuse you. Remember, when I say fade is a taper, but a taper is not a fade, I'm strictly talking definition. You know, if you go into the Melodi's book that you'll see at a barber school or a beauty college or something like that, you're not going to see fade in there. You're going to see taper. But you know, for practical uses, you know, what you're actually going to be doing when you're in the shop, what you need to know is, if somebody's asking for a fade, you're taking the widest point in the head and you're blending up from that point. And if they're asking for a taper, you're generally below that point. I've never seen anybody come and ask for a taper and want it, you know, up here somewhere. You know what I mean? Generally they want more hair on their head. So your darkest point is going to be lower on the head. Anyway, 85 cuts. Follow me on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. Look me up. Like me. Hey, let's talk. Let's learn from each other. You got questions, let's ask them. No question is too simple. You know what I mean? Everything is relative. So, you know what I mean? Whatever you want to know, let's talk. You know what I mean? If you want to know about tools, that's good. Let's talk about tools. If you want to know about cuts, let's talk about cuts. If you want to know about different styles, what's hot in my area, what's hot in your area, let's talk about it. Let's make contact. Let's network. Like I said, it's 85 cuts. Find me on YouTube. You can find me on Facebook. Look me up, man. I'm on my stuff. I'm on it all the time, man. 85cuts@gmail.com. That's my email. I'm very active. If you comment on my video, you send me a message, whatever, I'm guaranteeing you. If you got a question, if you want to see a video, if you want to see something done, I will do it for you. It's no problem. You know what I mean? Get at me. 85 cuts. Shout out to JP the Barber, Vic the Barber, Ron Classics. Hey Ron, I'm still waiting on them lids, bro. I got your money. What's up, man? I want Ohio State, Cincinnati Bengals, even Cincinnati Bearcats. I don't care, anything. You know what I mean? Get at me. You know what I'm saying? So whenever that product is done, man, get at me. You know what I'm saying? Al's Millions. You know, big shout out everybody, man. Jay the Barber, Alex C. Campbell, all you guys, man. Barber love, man. Garb, stay on your grind, cousin. All right, man. One love, y'all. Happy New Year's. I hope these holidays find you safe. Be careful out there. People drunk, acting stupid, man. God bless.